0.041 reaction for Coleman. That Mustang is hooking up.
Certainly is. Goes 713, 190 mile an hour. I think it's a 7.0 record. And Danny got out of there a little early. Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go.
Looks like his chutes popped.
What happened there? It just...
got caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah, late on the chutes, and it's just wrapped around the wheelie bars. And,
yes. Oh, and the concrete. Man, that is bad. They just see them starting to pirouette like that, and that shakes you up a little bit. Now, let's see. Car goes on its side.
And it looks like they're...
So...
Yeah, he's out okay.
Well, definitely one of the scarier moments to happen at the 2014 Fuchs Winternationals was the horrible accident for Danny Tuelstrup in competition eliminator driving this dragster. And we've come down to the scrutineering shed to assess some of the damage and find out the certain key factors that kept Danny safe in that accident. Amazingly, he got straight out of the car and, as they say, walked away. But first of all, let's have a bit of a look at the car. We'll describe to you exactly the parts that, well, at least got damaged. The thing is designed to have the frame and different parts of the car break away, snap if needs be, move away from the parts that are important. The parts that are important are right here, the roll cage and inside the chassis rails that go around the body of the race car driver. And while they have had a fair bit of grounding away and a little bit of movement down the left-hand side chassis rails, this major component has, for the best part, kept quite safe. And one of the big things that definitely helped Danny out is what's called the ISP seat system inside. If you have a close look underneath the actual roll cage of the car, there's a lot of padding around here, and this all goes to surround Danny's helmet, so there's not much room for Danny's helmet to move. Speaking of Danny's helmet, well, how did that get out of the accident? Here it is right here, sitting on the right rear tyre, and it's looking exceptional. Not a single scratch from that accident. The visor perfectly intact because that ISP system did such a good job. He doesn't have a Hans device. He has something very similar, and it kind of just goes like that on the back of the helmet. These tethers work to just hold the helmet in place to make sure that Danny's neck doesn't get thrown forward in the case of a heavy accident, much like that. So this definitely did its job yesterday in protecting his head, protecting his neck and shoulders, that part of the body. Arm restraints. Obviously, that was a very heavy rollover. You don't have any control over what your body's doing in an accident like that. So the arm restraints help to literally keep your arm pinned down onto your race suit so your arms don't go out through the roll cage, anything horrible like that happening, which did used to happen back in the day before all these safety ideas were put in place. They definitely did their job. And while it was a nasty accident, we can say, thankfully, that Danny is okay. He spent the night in hospital. Come on over, come and have a chat to us, Danny, because that was a very nasty accident indeed. The car looks very second-hand, but thankfully, you're the important part of the car that came out okay. Explain to us what happened in those frantic 5 to 6 seconds when you were upside down and tumbling around in the braking area.
We shut down the car as normal, pulled the chutes, shut the engine off and all the rest. And it started to drift a little bit to the side, so I started to try and correct it a bit. Then I felt it start to go over, so I pulled my hands away from the wheels and it just rolled, which I thought was down the centre of the track. But when I looked at the footage a bit later, it was a little bit more along the wall than the centre. I counted 3 rolls, but yeah, I was more watching where my arms and legs were as it was rolling to make sure nothing could get outside the car. Very confident that the safety gear was going to work. On the first roll, I was sort of half thought that we'll see how good this ISP stuff actually cushions the hitting the ground, and it was just like lying on a pillow. There's no roughness at all. And yeah, when it come to a halt, hopped out of the car because I could see the fuel tank was ruptured and turned the battery off, and just walked away, and the rescue crew turned up right there and then. It was all under control.
You spent the night in hospital, but that was just all precautionary.
Yeah, we just spent the afternoon actually in the hospital. Got an X-ray, all the rest. They did all usual neck restraint in the ambulance and at the hospital, make sure until the X-rays had come back, which was perfect. Haven't got a single scratch, a single bruise, no tenderness, absolutely nothing.
I suppose if we can find a silver lining, and we'll send you over to have a look at this part of the car at least, because this is one part that amazingly came out A-OK. The engine's fine. That's the good news.
Yeah, that is it. That's probably the bigger dollar part of the whole deal is the engine. It's the car is replaceable. The person isn't. So, we go home, we'll get some more steel and build a new car and come racing again as soon as we can.
Definitely a tough end to Danny Tuelstrup's 2014 Fuchs Winternationals, but the good news is he's okay.